I really can't come up with a good intro line, so let's just get to the title card. After the micro series ended in December of 2013, My Little Pony Friends Forever took its place in January of 2014. Unlike the micro series, which focused on one character per issue, Friends Forever focuses on two characters per issue. Another thing that sets Friends Forever apart from its predecessor is the characters that it uses. While the micro series went with the usual formula of main 6, CMC, Spike, and the princesses, Friends Forever takes advantage of FIM's large cast and uses characters that don't really get much screen time in the show. Mayor Mayor, for example, who's going to be starring alongside Applejack in issue number 15, which comes out in March. Today's top 5 will be listing my personal favorite Friends Forever issues out of the 13 that have been released so far. So without further ado, let's begin. Number 5. Twilight and Shining Armor, issue number 4. Before this issue came out, I didn't think too highly of the Friends Forever series. When I read issue number 1, it was the first time where I felt compelled to take a comic back for a refund. Seriously, it was that bad. Probably worse than micro series issue number 1. Issues 2 and 3 were okay, but this issue marked the point where the series started to gain its footing. This issue stood out to me because this was the first time where we actually see Shining Armor and Twilight's close relationship instead of being told about it. From what we've seen in the show, it could be argued that Twilight is closer to Cadence than she is with her brother, despite the fact that she claims him to be her BBBFF. But in this story, we get to see them bond over a childhood memory, to the point where they even reenact it for old time's sake. As someone who has a younger sister of their own, even though we don't get along nearly as well as Shining and Twilight, this story struck a chord with me personally. And I'm sure it'll do the same for all the other big brothers and little sisters out there. Number 4. Rainbow Dash and Spitfire, issue number 11. Since I reviewed this issue, as well as the next issue on this list, in previous videos, I'm not going to say much because I'm just going to get repetitive. What I liked about this issue was that it showed a side of Spitfire that I didn't really expect to see from her. As a result, it made her a more three-dimensional character. However, what held this issue back for me personally was the art style, which I wasn't too fond of. Regardless, it still deserves recognition as a really solid issue. Number 3. Rarity and Babs, issue number 13. Manhattan is one of my favorite equestrian cities, so having a story take place there already gives it cool points in my book. On top of that, we get some exploration of Babs, and a surprisingly insightful moment from Sapphire's Shores. Again, not much to say here that hasn't already been said. Number 2, Pinkie Pie and Luna, issue number 7. You guys will never be able to grasp how painful it is for me to put something involving Pinkie Pie this high on a top 5. But as I said in my top 5 micro issues video, I gotta give credit where credit is due. This issue did everything Pinkie Pie's micro issue did right, and then some. Not only do we get another portrayal of Pinkie Pie where she really embodies the nature of her element, but we also get some development with Princess Luna as well. The best scene in this comic is when Pinkie tells Luna that she's trying to be funny for the wrong reasons. Instead of doing it for the sake of making others happy, Luna was too caught up in trying to outdo Celestia, as well as maintaining her integrity as a princess. However, Pinkie has a few choice words for Luna before she leaves in disappointment, and after I read it, I had to put the book down for a second. Did Pinkie Pie just say something that made me think? That scene alone was enough for me to recommend this to anybody who enjoys Luna or Pinkie Pie's character. The artwork by Tony Fleece was very appealing as well, and it shows that his artwork has improved significantly over the past 2 years. It's stories like this that make me let go of my bias for Pinkie for at least a second and acknowledge the "Get out of here!" No, not you, Luna. You can stay. Now, before I get to my top pick, I want to give out 2 honorable mentions. The first goes to issue number 10 for giving us a brief backstory on Iron Will, and the second goes to issue number 9 for confirming that Granny Smith has been around in her younger days, if you know what I mean. And my number 1 Friends Forever issue is Applejack and Rarity, issue number 8. If you know me, then you should have seen this coming. I mean, let's just run the list of what this comic has. Applejack and Rarity? Check. Katie Cook and Andy Price? Check. Great humor? Check. Exploration of other equestrian cities? Check. Further proof that Applejack is the queen of facial expressions? Check. My one concern is that Applejack didn't question when Granny Smith read that the letter came from the West Coast Oranges, even though Applejack has lived with the Oranges and knows that they don't live in the West Coast. But the hilarious adventure that we get to read, as well as the numerous references to real-world locations, more than makes up for this small, although incredibly easy to avoid, misstep in the writing. Plus it showed that Applejack isn't a very good salesmare, which explains why she only made 1 sale at the Galloping Gala. She could use some lessons from Rarity. And with that, you have my top 5 favorite Friends Forever issues. Feel free to let me know what your own personal top 5 is. My next and final top 5 will be on the top 5 My Little Pony songs, and I plan on posting it next week. So, did you agree with my picks for this top 5? Let me know in the comments below or hit me up on Tumblr, and consider supporting me on PayPal through commissions or donations. Until next time, keep it sketchy, folks.